Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to complete the 2.1 text structure breakout room game assignment. This is not breakout rooms like what we use in Google Meet. These are breakout rooms like puzzles that you have to solve to get to the next one. So when you're in your assignment, you will notice if you've already looked at this, I've changed some of the links. You will go here to where it says Breakout EDU, and it's going to ask you to sign in, student login. You're going to log in with Google Classroom, even if you've never done so before. Once you do that, it will bring you to this screen. You're going to add class. This is where you will enter your class code, which is right here. I'm going to copy that, paste, and save. This class you're about to add is grade 6 literacy. You want to confirm that. If you do not join the class, you cannot access the assignment. And if you do not join the class, I cannot see your progress. So you're going to go to games. Actually, let's say grade 6 literacy. There we go. So click where it said game 6 literacy. You're going to go to your assigned games here, structure that text game show, and you're going to press play. And it's going to take over your screen. It's going to tell you to select a lock. You have to start with the first one. It doesn't allow you to select the others. So you start with your first one. You want to read your directions over here. Sometimes there's clues embedded within this. Round 1 is about to begin. Who can press their buzzer the fastest and answer the questions? You hope you remember text structures as well as your ABCs. So now you're going to look at our clue here. There's a passage to read. If you scroll down, you'll see that there's a combination where you're going to have to enter a number. You're going to have to enter a number that shows the text structure of this text. Now, I would highly recommend that you use some sort of note-taking process for this task. I would use like a little sticky or a notebook, or I would even open up a new doc if I needed to. But I'm going to want to track how many of each type of text structure there is. So, for example, and I'm going to take out my paper here and grab my pen, I'm just going to write PS for problem solution, D for description, CE for cause effects, CC for compare contrast, S for sequence. And I'm just writing little notes on my paper. And every time I see a text that pops up, I'm going to put a little tally mark next to that. And I'll attach a picture of my notes for you to see what I mean. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to watch this video, and I can stop and play as much as I need to because I have to read these texts. So before I press play, I'm going to read my first one. For my birthday, I took the day off. First, I slept in until 10 o'clock. Next, I went and bought myself breakfast and coffee. Finally, I finished the day by watching my favorite movie and eating popcorn. So that definitely first, next, finally. Those clue words tell me sequence, so I'm going to put a tally mark next to sequence. I'm going to press play. Okay, I'm going to pause here for my next text. Chocolate chip cookies have chocolate in them and sugar cookies don't. They are both delicious with a tall glass of milk. So I think that this is going to be description. It's kind of describing our chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to put a tally next to D. I'm going to press play, and I'm going to continue to do this with my next text as well. Okay, First, I turned off my alarm. Next, I got out of bed. Last, I went in the bathroom to brush my teeth and get ready for school. Which one do you think this is? First, next, last. Where would I put my tally? Would it be problem solution, description, cause effect, compare contrast, or sequence? You'll put your tally mark where you think it goes. And then you'll press play for your next one, and you'll keep doing this. Now, going with the tallies that I have, which obviously are not enough because I have not looked at all the text, I'm going to count up what I have. I'm just going to make up numbers now. So problem solution, I'm going to say that I have, we'll say I have 2. Description, we'll say I have 3. Cause effect, we'll say 1. Compare and contrast, 4. Sequence, 2. These are not correct numbers. These are not correct numbers. Now, once I have these numbers, these are my final numbers, I actually have to put the type of text structure in ABC order. That's why ABC is capitalized over there in the directions. So that means compare and contrast would be first, cause and effect would be next, description, problem solution, and then sequence. And then the numbers for that one, so I had 4, cause and effect, so I would put a 4 in my first lock. I had 1, compare and contrast. I had 1, cause and effect. I had 3, descriptions, 2, problem solution, and 2, sequence. Now, obviously, that wasn't correct because I used fake numbers. But you will know you have it correct because then it will move you on to your next puzzle, which I will explain next. Okay, so once you've made it past round 1, you'll notice there's a little check mark up here, and it's brought you to round 2. You have a different type of combination. Notice it's up, down, left, right. Round 2 has you moving around. Hopefully you wore the correct shoes so you can get to the answer quickly. Now you notice compare, description, cause effect, sequence, problem solution. So as you watch this and you look at the type of text structure here, your directions are going to be how you move from text structure to text structure. So we're starting. Author explains how 2 or more things are alike and how they are different. 2 things, how they are alike and how they are different. That is compare and contrast. Now I'm going to look at, so on my paper I'm just doing compare, contrast, so, because, since, therefore, if, then. If I remember my clue words, if, then would be cause and effect, and so is the word because. So I'm going to draw an arrow down from compare, contrast, and I'm going to say cause and effect. And then I'm going to play again. And I'm writing my notes on paper that I will then use for my lock. So pause. Author lists items or events in chronological order. Okay, so I'm at cause and effect. Chronological order would be sequence. So from cause and effect to get to sequence, I would have to move down. This one is to solve this. Question is, well, if I'm solving, I probably have problem solution. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm currently at sequence. So to go from sequence to problem and solution, I actually need to move to the right. Now I'm going to take some guesses on my others. And I'm going to say, because I need 5, I have 3 arrows so far. I'm going to say the next one goes up to description, and the next one will go to the left for compare contrast. And then I would take my guess. Well, first I went down, then I went down, then I went to the right, and then I went up, and then I went to the left. Obviously, it's not right because I'm using fake answers. But that's how I would get through this lock. Once I figure out the correct direction that I would move from, I would then use those arrows. I start here with compare and contrast. There is no arrow for that first one. This is where I'm starting. And then whatever direction we think is next is the arrow that we would use. Once you have that second green check, you will move on to round 3. Time for round 3. I hope you remember your signal words. A number of them can be tricky. Looks like your opponents are ready to go. You will notice that in this video here, you have signal words, clue words, as well as different types of text structure and colors. So your combination here that you're going to enter is a color combination. I'm only going to give you one example here, so listen closely. So first I want to talk about how it says a number of them. You'll notice that each one of these has a specific amount of numbers of clue words. We've got 3 clue words here, 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first is 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7. So I'm going to start with my lowest number here, 3, because that's going to tell me the order that I have to put my colors in. Next, then, after. Is it cause effect, description, problem solution, sequence, compare contrast? Well, next, then, after definitely sounds like a sequence one. So I'm going to start by putting white right there, and then notice this is flashing here. Then I would choose my next one. Let's say, oh, okay, well, that one's compare contrast. So compare contrast will be black. And then the next one's problem solution. So I'm going to go green. And then the next one's cause and effect. So I'll go white. And then the next one is, notice, by the way, I'm not actually looking at them. So I'm kind of guessing here. And then the last one I haven't used is description. So we'll go yellow. Obviously, that's not correct because, like I said, I was guessing. But that's the order you go in. Start with this one, then this one, 5, 6, 7. Once you put the right color combination down here to match with the text structures, you will be free to move on. Okay, this is your final lock. You have 3 done, and once you do this, you will break through the room. So it's a lightning round. Get all these correct, and you could take the lead. So she is going to yell out a type of text structure. Notice here that there's definitions of what each text structure is. So compare, contrast. Let's say it's this one, which it's not. It says author explains the topic. Now let's find the real one. Okay, author explains how 2 or more things are alike and different. If you look behind these definitions, there's a tiny little shape. So this has a triangle. So for compare contrast, I would put triangle. And then I would press play. Cause and effect. I'm going to find the one that says cause and effect. I'm going to find the shape behind the definition, and that's going to go next. And I'm going to continue through the rest of them. And I'm just going to choose random ones here. Obviously, not correct. Once it's correct, though, you will know because the screen will do something really cool. And you will see this. Once you have done that, you have beat the game, you can click exit gaming. You are all done.